It is gorgeous outside, but it's now time to watch our video, which is screening just inside. But the crowd is packed with like the best filmmakers and storytellers and environmentalists on Earth. So I'm excited, but I'm also a little nervous because it's kind of like having LeBron James show up to your pickup basketball game. I'd never been to an event this fancy, and I didn't quite know what to expect. So I packed the basics: sketchbook, brush, pencil, watercolors, and a very tiny shoe, just in case. Then I took a plane from the third least populated state to the first least populated state, arriving in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Here I would find more antlers, as well as my friend's van, which would be my home for the next week. I still had an hour drive into the heart of the Tetons, but after about 3 minutes I got distracted by these beautiful views and stopped and sketched. I mean, look at this place. And then after that there were a couple more stops. It took about 2.5 hours and 9 sketches before eventually I made it all the way to Jackson Lake Lodge, the home of Jackson Wild, the Oscars of environmental storytelling. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was super nervous, because I grew up reading National Geographic and watching David Attenborough and Planet Earth on BBC. And those are the kind of storytellers and filmmakers and photographers that were here, in this very room. And our little story about PFAS and forever chemicals was being held up against them. And I was going to be able to connect and hopefully learn from some of the best. Here I am at the National Geographic barbecue. There is a National Geographic, and there's the barbecue. So this is here's your microphone.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it is a literal shoe. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So like what's the importance of environmental storytelling? Like, why does it matter?
Things are so fragmented and so divided. I think we all need to feel like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. And I think that stories about nature, about science, about animals have a unique power to, I think, change how we see ourselves, our relationship to the world and each other, and make us feel a part of something bigger than ourselves, which I think is just so vitally needed right now.
I think we have more spheres of influence than we realize. I think the people you're closest to, you probably have more influence over, your coworkers, than maybe some of you haven't met at times. So I don't think, any audience is too small to share conservation stories, environmental stories.
Like, we live in stories, and it, like, what happens here is you realize, like, the story of the environment is every story of all of us. Like, it's not its own genre.
Spending time outside,
Yeah.
That's what you end up talking about, is the stuff that you do. So the more time you spend outside, the more you talk about it, and then the more you're spreading the news to other people that outside is cool, and we should have water in the rivers and the hills full of wildlife.
They can connect to them, and they can relate to them like they can relate to their pets and their friends, and that makes them care about their wild counterparts. So part of my job is storytelling for those animals that don't necessarily have a voice. But ultimately, conservation is such a global mission, and everybody is and can be a conservationist because we're all a part of it. Like, the choices that we make every single day contribute to our natural world. And so people getting connected to our natural world and caring about it is the only way that it stands a chance.
I mean, I read a quote by Baba Diome, a Senegalese conservationist, who said that in the end, we'll conserve only what we love only what we understand, and we understand only what we are taught. And to that end, my documentaries, I hope to inspire people to care about what they see and not forget about things. Just because they don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I want this world to exist and people to see and connect and care enough to protect the world around them.
It felt amazing to be able to bring Keen here. Although I should say Keen was very much already here before I arrived. Honestly, it is hard to avoid this brand in the environmental space. They're at the Jackson Lake Lodge. There were Targies with the bottle still on. Is this a faux pas, or is this cool? You just couldn't avoid them. Seriously, they were everywhere. And so you're a fan?
Absolutely. Total fan of Keen. I've been And now hearing how environmentally conscious it is, I am even more a fan. But I've been wearing them for over 15 years now. I love the brand. I love that it fits perfectly, and I love the fact that it's environmentally conscious. And we put them to the test in the most rugged places.
Just a side note, but I have dreamed of walking a mile in Sandesh's shoes, and it turns out I already have. But now it's time to go share our story. All right, let's go watch this film. It's been out in the world, but seeing it like this is gonna be a little bit different.
You see someone light a candle, surf. Those things can be broken down by water, but this can't.
And somebody's gonna sit on this couch and ask us some interesting questions. My name is Max Romey. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a watercolor painter. This film kind of gave me the sense that brands and creatives can work together in a different kind of way. You got authentic stories and proof of concept. Well, now it's time for the awards, which we are nominated for 2 of. One in the Trailblazer, one in the branded category, because they thought it was just so cool, kind of what a story-focused brand Keen is. To be totally honest, considering who the competition is, I do not expect to win either of them, but even to be in categories with films by Disney and National Geographic and the animator of The Lion King is pretty wild that we're even here. Like, we are with the big dogs. Right there. And just like that, the Oscars of environmental filmmaking began.
All right, on with the awards.
Ecosystem, sponsored by National Geographic Content. The finalists are Our New World.
The evening began as you might expect, with a bunch of the heavy hitters like Disney and National Geographic all winning a bunch of awards, which they totally deserve. Their stuff is amazing. The artist who animated The Lion King won big for a short about a polar bear in the melting Arctic, and a content creator who works with Keen Canada pulled in one of the big social awards.
Oh my goodness. And to just share hope for our future, for people, climate, and nature, wildlife. So thank you very much. Thanks.
And then, all of a sudden, it was to our categories.
Our next award honors a film that breaks away from traditional natural history storytelling by embracing bold, innovative approaches.
The nominees are A Little Story About Forever, Gladys, Snow Bear, The Old Bear, The Paper Bear.
And behalf on the final jury, the winner of Trailblazer is The Old Bear.
Now, this might not be what you expected, but to be honest, just being in a group like this feels like winning. It's not about the awards, it's not about coming in first, it's about moving in the right direction, together, from the stories we tell to the soles of our feet. And I was thinking about all of this and had absolutely forgotten that we were nominated for 2 awards until I heard them say,
And the winner is A Little Story About Forever.
I filmed this story in my kitchen, so give me a minute to realize this is possible. But I guess when the community trusts you, you can do kind of impossible things. You can learn to edit, you can learn to animate, you can learn to film with a 2.5-year-old. Snack time. But really, I think I've got to thank Keen, all of Keen, for trusting me, for trusting storytelling, and for for doing good so we can do good. And the whole team to make something like this possible, the National PFAS Contamination Coalition, everybody on the Keene Effect, NRDC, but most importantly, the community of seeing the importance of something like this and sponsoring it. These stories are really important, and companies that can back those stories up with action matter. So thank you so much. This is going to be an amazing hat rack. And hi, Kip. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Jen.
Sometimes the only thing you bring home is memories, and the journey's enough. And sometimes, if you're really lucky, well, then you get to come home with the hardware. And I would say it was amazing to bring Keene along, but you've been here the whole time. Seriously, Keenes are everywhere.